Hi there, welcome back to my channel. I'm Leanne. Today I want to talk about how sometimes we feel like we're not seeing anything changing around us. It could be a long time, but we're not noticing some signs that might be there. Now, I don't mean that everybody's going to see signs before their manifestation, like how I mentioned in another video, something that we call birds before land. Not everybody's going to see a sign, but sometimes we do. And we tend to ignore it, and we focus more on, what we want and why we don't have it right now. And the more we're focusing on not having it, the more we're just creating more of not having it. Because like I mentioned before, like attracts like. No, we're not attracting, but it's in a way to explain it. Like where your thoughts are going, that's where the energy is going to flow. So if you're thinking negatively all the time, you're always going to be flowing negatively, Now, don't come at me. I've heard a lot of people say, no, there's no such thing as you can't get what you want when you're angry, things like that. I've manifested many things. It doesn't matter if I believed it or felt it, and that's absolutely true. But like in my experience, I noticed that when I was thinking negatively more often than thinking positively, all I did was create more chaos around me. So there is something there, and a lot of you may have noticed that as well. And okay, some people might feel like, well, I've been always negative and I still get what I want. And okay, good for you. That's, amazing. Not everybody can do that though. And most people, from my experience and from my own personal experience, I notice that when people are negative, they seem to just, it's like when we say misery loves company, we seem to attract more of that around us. And no, it's not an attraction channel. I'm not saying this is the law of attraction here, but what I mean is this is kind of like how we feel about things. Like we tend to notice more negative around us. So, if you stay more positive about things and just live in the end of what you want, then you're going to notice that you're going to feel like things are coming to you a lot faster. Sometimes there will be these subtle little signs around you, and you might even actually notice, but you're not really paying attention. Like you might notice that, I wonder if that means something, but you're not really paying attention. It's like there's this fable, I don't know the exact details, but I'll paraphrase from what I remember. There was a guy on a roof, and there was a flood around him, and he was calling out to God, like, please save me. Somebody came by on a boat and said, jump in a boat, I'll bring you to safety. And he said no, he refused. God's gonna save me. Then somebody came with a helicopter and said, here, grab the ladder that was hanging, we're going to pull you to safety. And he said, no, God is going to save me. And I forget what else helped him, but anyways, he ended up dying because he drowned. The flood went over the roof, and when he got to heaven, he said, God, I was asking you and keeping faith that you were going to save me, but you didn't. And God said, I sent you a boat, I sent you a helicopter, So we might see signs in different forms. We might be looking for that specific sign. So like, let's say, for example, you wanted to get a job with a friend of yours, and you were hoping that they can refer you and you can get in there. And then they might have maybe changed jobs, they went somewhere else, and now you might be looking at that as, okay, well, great, I guess I can't get a job now because they changed companies. But that could actually be that subtle sign of, they will refer you and you could take over their position, or they can refer you in their new job or something, like something. There's things happening around us that we are completely unaware of, and we don't realize that it has to happen to get us to where we want to be. It's like, you're seeing what you're seeing in the camera right now. You're seeing the shelf behind me, you're seeing the door there, my chair, You might see a little bit of my TV stand sticking out right there, but you don't see that I have like a couch over there, and there's a beautiful big window, and I have a plant, and you know, the bathroom over here, the kitchen, the bedroom. You know, you're not seeing any of that. But you know that I don't just live, or I'm guessing you're assuming I don't just live in this tiny little square, right? So just because you're not seeing things in like a big way doesn't mean that you're not going to get it, because sometimes these subtle little things have to happen, and then you're going to be like amazed. Sometimes manifestations come up like instantly, all at once. I have heard about that happening. Like if somebody was looking for, you know, to move to a different country, plus get married, plus, you know, be successful in their business, and all of a sudden they could end up being offered a really great position in that different country, and then their partner doesn't want them to leave, so they marry them because they want to be with them and follow them, you know, and then it all happened all at once. So you can get everything you want all at once as well. But, you know, don't look at every little sign, whether it's negative or positive, as, you know, a lot of meaning to it. But pay attention when you do see a little sign that, okay, take it for what it is, that this is a good thing. Like, let's say, for example, you're trying to affirm that your person of interest, like let's say you're not even dating them, but you really like them and you want them to ask you out on a date. You know, you physically want to go out on a date with them. But let's say they just start saying hi to you. You know, like, okay, for example, let's say you know them from work and they just start saying hi to you in the hallway. Now, you might be noticing the lack of the date that you want. Don't do that. Don't think of, okay, why didn't they ask me out on a date? Why are they just saying hi every day? You know, this person's frustrating me. That could be that subtle sign that they're getting up the nerve to get to the point where they're going to ask you on a date. Do you know what I mean? I know it's probably a terrible example. I can't really think off the top of my head. I didn't prepare this video. It's kind of like on a whim. But just pay attention to the end result. Stay in the end result. Don't worry about, you know, whether the sign, is that the sign, is that not a sign? But don't poo-poo on anything small either, because that could actually be that small little sign that has to happen and unfold in order for you to get the big manifestation that you want. I hope that makes sense. Anyways, I hope you liked today's video. I love you all. See you in the next one.